Hey, how's it going this morning? I'm talking about humor in marketing and, and five different types of funny. Michael Stearns is going to pop in here in a second, and we'll see if I get away with this without my baby crying. And it may not happen, so I might have to stop, but we'll see. Um, so, three main reasons to use humor in marketing. I want to throw out memory. People actually have higher recall when something's funny. So you will get people to remember your stuff more if it's funny. Isn't that crazy? The second one is relatability. It positions your company as friendly. Hey, what's up, bro?
What's up?
How you doing?
Doing well. Oh, the baby.
Yeah, it's a risky move. It's a risky move for
Got to
me,
risk
but
it
hey.
for the biscuit.
Yes, sir. So I was talking about how humor makes your company more relatable. You have anything to kind of throw in there on that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that statement, and I think that I think people like doing business with people that feel like people, where it doesn't feel so transactional as like, okay, I'm buying the service from you. This is it, and that's that. Let's move on. I think there's a lot of middle ground between like being fully transactional and like being like you would with your friends at the bar. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's where you can introduce humor to kind of actualize the best type of situation for the experience for your customers and your brand.
The other thing is shareability, and you and I have seen some of this with memes because Michael and I, first of all, we're not going to be that funny on this talk because when you're talking about funny, it's hard to be funny.
It's inherently less funny. Yeah.
Yeah, less. I was putting it in the notes that we're sharing. Misdirection is part of humor. A lot of the memes that have done really well on that I put out have they're like making it seem like it's not a meme at first. It's like looking like it's like a scientific fact or something, and then the funny comes in.
Right.
But anyways, shareability is a big one. Like if you do some shareability in your or if you do humor, it's much more easy for somebody to share that if they want to support your company, and a lot of people do really.
Yeah, so how does a contractor do that, Tim? Like you do it, right? Because
Yeah,
you work with contractors and you make situations that arise in their life, it's very relatable for them, right? So
yeah,
you kind of mock these situations via meme or make fun of them, right? Which is brilliant, and they want to engage with that. So
yeah.
how does a roofing contractor or a contractor of any sorts kind of do that same thing for their audience?
Pain.
Ooh.
You need to know your customer's pain. Follow homeowner memes on Instagram. And it's basically like things that suck as a homeowner. You might know those things because you're probably a homeowner, like, but really kind of push into those. I mean, it's empathy, but it's also giving, you know, zooming in on their pain, and and if you do that, people will want to share. And the other thing is local markets. So if like I've got a contractor that's in a city around here called Elk River, and they do Elk River memes. You know what I mean? Like so about the city, funny stuff about the city, and that goes into one of our types of humor that we're going to be talking about, which is kind of situational. So it could be news or local. And
Mm-hmm.
the way you and I, because you and I, neither of us are that great at memes. Let's be honest. Neither of us are that good.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's relatable, because it's about roofing and no one else like, there's not that many great memes about roofing. That's how we've won. But
Right.
hey, by the way, hi, Eric Richardson, Jordan Harrison, Chris Scoville. How you guys doing?
Appreciate you guys joining. Yeah, it's funny though, right? Because I have a pest control client. It's the one client we have that's not a roofer, and I sent them a meme the other day, and it's like, I'd like you all to meet my friend, and his name is Clint Eatswood, and it was a termite, right?
I like it.
Yeah. So it's like dad joke ask, and it's
Yes.
relatable, and people will share that shit, and everybody who's in Memphis knows
Yeah.
or somebody or has themselves dealt with termites and the rat, like the
Yeah.
what type of situations they bring to a house. So it's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I even put that as one of our puns. I'm not even sure I put puns as one of our types. Let's get into the types, but I just want to note that obviously with funny, it could be memes, could be a joke. With puns are way easy with jokes on your pages, and then videos. And I always say, oh, I did say puns in here, but I make sure that the image is funny by itself. Like I want, like ideally when I start a meme, like ideally I find an image that even if it had no caption, for some reason it'd be funny. You know what I mean? It's just a hack. All right, so let's get into, oh yeah, the last one is double down. So when something works, you can use that as an ad. So once you start to find something that is actually funny, because there's a lot of stops and starts in this thing,
Yeah.
trying to be funny. But yeah, basically, let's get into these 5 types of humor.
All right, so we'll start with the ironic humor. I'm a big fan of ironic humor. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Right? So
what is irony? Because there's that song, isn't it ironic that isn't ironic? And I always need to look this up. Like, what is the real definition of irony?
a state of affairs or an event that seems deliberately contrary to what one expects and is often amusing as a result. So I'll give you an example in my world, right?
Yeah.
And in our world, and you can probably relate to this. So it's ironic to me that the same person that's reaching out on behalf of Google for your ad campaigns, telling you all these great recommendations that they have to get you more benefits here and to make you more money, are going to likely sink your campaign, undo a lot of work that you or somebody on your behalf has done, and cost you a shit ton of money if you listen to them. That's ironic to me. And I only find it funny when people ignore those recommendations from that individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would it be ironic if you just replaced your roof and then it stormed afterwards?
Yeah, it'd be. I mean, I don't know how funny it would be. You know, it was definitely ironic.
Well, pain is funny for some reason, unfortunately.
Well, in hindsight, like looking back 10 years down the road as a homeowner, like, especially like if I paid for upgrades, right? Like, oh, we got copper gutters on this new roof that we got because we got it for 90% less than what we thought we were going to have to pay for it. Doesn't it look great? And then storm comes through, ravages the roof, blows, you know, it would be funny retrospectively, but in the moment, I don't think I'd be very amused myself.
Billy Klein says, never trust Google. I like that. By the way, I'm going to talk about that today at another live. I'm going live with John Cenac about the 7 misconceptions in marketing. And so that will be a good live, by the way. All right, next one, hyperbole. So talk to me about like how to use hyperbole or what hyperbole is.
Yeah. So it's just, hyperbole is going to be exaggeration for effect, right? Like, and you're just being dramatic as shit. And, you know, so, I mean, there's a million different ways that you can be dramatic. It's like, you know, if you sign up with Ascend today, you're going to make billions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
And
like my favorite example, absurd. Because like Old Spice always does the absurd commercials where it's like the who's like shirtless and the ideal man or whatever, and he's just doing all these crazy tricks, and it's clearly absurd and it's fun and everyone knows what it is. Oh, but I did just watch a documentary about Pepsi in the 90s, and they said you could win a jet, and then this kid actually saved up enough Pepsi points to win the jet, apparently. And then Billy says you should have a cover up for breastfeeding. Yeah, exactly. But basically, don't make sure you have a caveat if you get that word out to a lot of people, and if it is an absurdist joke, because they didn't have any like small print. So
really,
they had to offer the kid $1 million. But then the kid turned down $1 million. It's like something about like the Pepsi challenge or something on Netflix. Chris says he watched it. But yeah, hyperbole. That's a good one. All right, situational. What is situational humor?
So I mean, I think
you're really good at this. Like in person, if you hang out with Michael Stearns is really good at situational humor.
Yeah, it's those awkward moments, or the moments that you can kind of tweak situation, like in that moment to be awkward, that may not necessarily, inherently be awkward, but maybe it's a long pause, maybe it's a punchline, like a well-timed punchline. I think there's a lot of different ways to accomplish it, but it's like those moments within an experience that like you can't
Mm-hmm.
really escape, and is kind of awkward, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Awkward.
intentionally,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is kind of like what The Office was built on. You know what I mean? It's like a situation. Often is like a It's very relatable. It's happened to you. You know, you're doing a live with your friend, and your baby is there just and starts to cry. Well, actually, she's not crying, so I shouldn't say that.
I was gonna say it's more of a coup. I feel
Yeah,
like a cooing.
it's very cute, very cute. All right, so I'm sure cute can be a part of humor as well. If like you and I have shared memes with like cute dogs, for instance. I certainly have seen dogs work really well on roofing companies' pages on their social profiles for some reason. If you can work a dog pun into like sharing your cute dog in the office, like that always works for some reason. I mean, like without fail, it works.
Yeah. Unless you're Mike publishing a meme, then if you use your dog, it's not going to get any burn. I promise you. Facebook
Well,
hates me. YouTube hates me.
or something like that. Like, what is your dog?
What's up?
What kind of dog do you have?
We got three. We've got a pit bull, we've got a mini Bernedoodle, and then a mini golden doodle.
Yeah, it's the doodle, man. No one likes the doodle. Just
Dude,
kidding.
people fucking love the dude. Like, dude, I'm looking at all these like short form pieces of video content memes that are just of like millions or hundreds of thousands of views and likes, and it's like I post one, it's like 7. But whatever.
I'm gonna
It's
throw
all
out a
good.
couple comments. Eric Richardson said Pepsi was the first American product advertised in Russia. Logan Shinholzer says, I took a stand-up comedy class. I think you'd love it, Tim. Michael says, you're not supposed to swear, so I don't know if it'd be the right fit for you, Michael.
Oh, I mean, I can. I mean, I've got a filter.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out what setting to put it on.
Yeah,
To be a
exactly.
well-adjusted adult, and I haven't
I
got there
find
yet.
that, yeah, I know, I get you. Like with contractors, like I know that this wouldn't work for contractors talking to homeowners. Uh-oh, here we go. I've got the bottle ready. We're gonna do it. Sorry. But swearing seems to create some trust for like if you're a marketing company to contractors, and I'm sure that there is some science behind that. Apparently, it makes you come off as a little bit more genuine because you're not filtering yourself as much, and people on average often do swear. Obviously, with the right audience, I don't know if I do this if I was a roofer to homeowners, but I'm just saying like apparently it can. Um, all right, next one up is dry. What is dry humor? You hear that a lot. You know what I mean? Like certain people have very dry humor. I don't know if I love dry as much, but maybe it's just because I don't know how to do it. What is it?
You know who has like a really good combination of like sarcastic and dry humor that I've had interactions with
Who?
is Matt Mulholland.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Like he's the personification of like dry sarcastic humor, and I love that type of humor, right? Because it's like
Yeah,
you'll know it. It's hard. I guess we could look up the definition, but it's hard if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're not entirely sure if they're serious or not. That's usually, but you're chuckling, right? Because
yeah.
it's funny. Like that's usually going to be on the run the gamut of like dry sarcastic humor.
People seem very smart when they do dry humor to me. Like when you can say something funny and then not laugh or not smile afterwards, like for some reason that makes people seem really smart to me.
Yeah, and me too. And then like, there's a great if you want to know how to combat that type of humor to just ruin it. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but just like make them explain it.
why would you why would you do that to somebody? Oh man, brutal.
Yes, just
Amazing.
steal their moment. Johnny
Yeah.
Raincloud here. Um,
So what do you mean by that? Yeah. Okay. Dry. I mean, so they say funny things, but they're serious, calm, whatever. So Matt's good at that. Who else? I'm trying to think of anyone in popular culture that is dry humor that, I mean, Dwight is kind of dry humor, but I think it's supposed to be the audience, like they're supposed to be doing it on purpose, but Dwight never smiles or laughs half the time, so Dwight's seems kind of dry, but I don't know. I'm trying to think of any other examples.
Drop it
We'll
in the
move on.
comments, guys. If you've got a good example of someone using dry humor that has attracted
Comment
you
below.
drop it. Drop it as if it were hot.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Next up, topical. This is easy. I will say, as a meme creator, and doing the ones around Halloween, the spirit costume, topical. Like if it's happening that week, it for some reason does way better.
Yeah, just go to it. Like you could go to a news feed, right? You could turn on a radio show. I mean, any event or circumstance or you think about the first thing that comes to mind is like the Chris Rock getting slapped thing with Will Smith. Like how many memes? Or when the guy rushed Dave Chappelle and the dude was all banged up, right? And it's like this dude's in an ambulance all jacked up, and it's like there's a million different ways, regardless of the company that you are, that you could leverage that into a funny situation. For sure.
Yeah, anytime you can kind of just follow a news story and hit it with something timely, it's just always going to do better. And then like your industry or the town, like we was talking about, like your city, just your HOA, I don't know, some city law just passed and you can make a joke about it, or the Super Bowl happens and you can make a joke about it, whatever. It's just always going to hit a little harder because people are thinking about it. So they or maybe they thought that too. They thought the idea and you just said it out loud.
Yeah, and one thing I'd say is be cautious as far as choosing things that are really polarizing, right? Because while you can attract a huge group of people, you can also alienate a strong percentage of the population if it's something that has kind of polarized views. So exercise a little bit of caution. There's that sweet spot where it's like everyone knows that it's funny and nobody will be gravely offended by it. So pay Tim for consulting if you need help on your meme game and what you should do or not do.
I do not sell this. So these What Else Wednesdays, what else to do besides SEO, PPC, and web design. I do this every Wednesday. Sometimes I even get Michael Stearns to participate. Like you said, avoid irreverent, dark. I'm saying dark and blue humor. Sorry, but for business purposes, too many gross things or things that are a little adult or something like that, you might turn some people off. So it's I watch those things a little bit, and political or newsy, and that way even if you're just using an image with a particular person, even if you're not trying to be mean or you are making fun of them and everyone seems to be cool with it, it might not be the greatest for your business.
I mean, it's just as much as what's happening with the people that aren't interacting with it as the people that are, right? And you're not going to know that. And that's why I say exercise caution. And I mean, you could take that a step further and, think about your personal page if you're running a business. If it's general knowledge that you own a company, that's going to be a reflection. If I know the owner of a company, I'll probably check out their Facebook page.
He'll say, nope, can't post that, bro. So, all right. So I apologize, Michael. I got to get off because I need to burp my buddy. But I really appreciate you, dude.